Most people think the scariest part of a movie is on the screen. The jump scares, the eerie music, the shadows creeping, just out of sight. But they're wrong. The real horror isn't in the movie, it's in the theater itself. Some customers never leave. They sit in the darkness, whispering in the empty seats, moving in the shadows, when no one's looking. You don't see them, but they see you. And if you listen closely, late at night, you might just hear them. Still watching, still waiting, right behind you. For 5 years, I've worked as an usher in this theater, watching the same movies on repeat, cleaning up spilled popcorn and scanning endless tickets. But I've learned something most people don't know. This place has regulars. Not the kind that buy tickets, not the kind that leave when the credits roll. 3 ghosts haunt this theater: Morris, Oscar, and George. They don't just appear now and then. They live here, and whether we like it or not, they make sure we know it. Maurice is the quiet one, the least intrusive but the most unsettling. He's known as Grandpa Maurice, and his story is tragic. Years ago, an old man came here to watch a horror movie and never left. He died during the film, and when the lights came on, the cleaning crew found him, sitting motionless in his seat. But here's the strange part. No one remembers exactly which seat. No one remembers exactly which theater. And that's why, even now, Morris can be anywhere. You don't see him directly, not at first. He lingers in the corner of your eye, a figure sitting quietly as if enjoying the show, until you look directly at him. And then, he's gone. But you still feel it, that weight in the air, the prickling sensation of being watched. Oscar is different. He's not just a ghost, he's a nuisance. He's named after Oscar the Grouch because he lurks in the trash haul, where we keep the bins before taking them out. But, unlike Morris, Oscar doesn't just sit still, he moves things. He makes sure we know he's there. And sometimes, he lets us hear him too. One night, I was taking out the trash when a can rolled a few feet behind me. No wind, no incline, just movement. I turned, expecting to see a rat or something, but there was nothing. Just a long, empty hallway, and the distant sound of footsteps. Heavy, deliberate, coming from the service elevator. The service elevator has a mind of its own. It moves by itself, doors opening, with no one inside. But the worst part? The footsteps. The sound of someone stepping out. Always 2 steps, always heavy. But no one ever arrives, the noise just stops. Right before they should come around the corner. Right before they should be seen. I've waited there before, just listening. The doors ding open, and then step, step, silence. And every time, without fail, the second I build up the courage to look, the lights flicker. And I know I'm not alone. And then there's George. George is an ass. He doesn't just haunt, he sabotages. Lights flicker, pipes burst, supplies disappear. But the worst moment? Christmas 2022. I was training a new girl at the podium when she scoffed at the ghost stories. Ghosts? Yeah, I don't believe in those, she said. And then, the massive cardboard standee behind her, one that weighed over 50 pounds, tipped over and crashed. No wind, no one near it, just George. People come and go, but Morris, Oscar, and George, they remain. If you ever visit this theater and hear whispers in an empty seat, or a trash can moving on its own, don't ask if someone's there, because the answer is always yes. A movie theater should be a place of escape. But what if someone is watching you? Not the screen, you, staring, waiting, following, and when you run, that's when the real horror begins. Emma and Mads, 2 teenage best friends, were out for a fun day at the mall, shopping, laughing, and, as always, watching a horror movie. But today, the real horror wasn't on the screen. As they walked toward the theater, Emma noticed a man in a massage chair, phone pressed to his ear. Mid-40s, Hispanic. He wasn't blinking, his stare was locked onto Mads. She had strikingly blonde hair, the kind that caught attention, but this felt different. As they passed, Emma caught it. His gaze had dropped lower. His eyes raked over Mads. Disgusted, Emma snapped, "Stop looking." He just smiled, slow, unsettling. They hurried inside, joining the ticket line, losing themselves in chatter about BTS. Then Emma glanced back. Her stomach dropped. He was right behind them. They grabbed their popcorn and sat at a table. Then Emma spotted him again, sitting in the corner, eating popcorn he hadn't had before. Inside the theater, they sat near the top. A moment later, Emma's heart clenched. He was behind them, again. Mads panicked. They moved down a few seats, so did he. No hesitation, no confusion. He simply followed. "Let's go to the bathroom," Mads whispered. They grabbed their things and left. The moment the door shut, they exhaled. "I don't want to go back," Mads admitted. Then, footsteps. A voice, low, muttering in Spanish. I don't know where they went. Emma's breath hitched. She understood. He was looking for them. They had to get out. They ducked into a kids' movie, hoping to disappear. But later, as they shopped, Emma's stomach twisted. The air felt wrong. Then she saw him. Standing at the exit, phone to his ear, scanning. Emma's phone buzzed. Her mom was waiting outside, but the only way out was past him. They moved fast. Halfway there, Emma looked back. Her breath caught. He wasn't just standing anymore. He was walking, fast. Their legs burned. The exit was so close. Emma's mom's car was in sight. They tore through the doors, diving into the back seat. As they slammed the doors shut, Emma looked out the window and saw him, standing just outside, searching. But this time, he'd lost.